Parables Podcast, Ejay Cruz, I'm your host. Guys, this is the last recording of 2019, and I could not, even though this is probably going to be published by the end of January, early February, I cannot tell you how I'm excited, how much excited I am about this episode, because I have a real friend here next to me, Christopher Duarte, aka.
What's up, brother?
I like to call him Primo.
Primo, I'm his Primo. Yeah,
Dude,
man.
I'm blessed to have you here, brother.
Yeah.
Like, guys, if just to give you a little background about me and Chris is one of the individuals that I like to talk about on my Instagram story, about one of the people I've been blessed to meet within the past year. I cannot wait to actually tell everybody the story of how we met. But he's one of those guys that you just come across, and there was something about him that automatically had me gravitate towards him and attach myself to him. And since then, we've been inseparable. I consider him a really good friend. I consider him a brother. He drove all the way from LA to be here. He's actually my boxing coach as well. So again, bro, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man.
Yeah, bro. I'm so happy. Before we even get started, bro, I always tell people I want to thank the house. You know, the house would be yourself, you know, your wife. So thank you for having me on as a guest. It's such a blessing to be here. You know, coming from LA, the drive was so worth it. I'm like, man, I'm so thrilled to be on this podcast. This is the first podcast, and then, you know, within the new year coming in, I'm going to be in a little more podcasts. So I'm excited to be here with you guys. This is my first podcast, and this is going to be very memorable. Again, I can't wait to tell people my story. Not just that, but I want to let them know how good our relationship, partnership, and friendship is. So I'm so happy to be here, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, man, dude. Like I said, man, I think I just can't help but say again and put an emphasis on, like, this is like a great way to end the year for the podcast.
Thank
just
you,
to
bro.
have you as a guest, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be real with you, dude, like I told you, because you're my boy. We're going to be completely raw here, right? I'm going to be real. You know, with this podcast, I like to bring all walks of life, and you know that. I'm very sorry. I tell you all the time how
Very
selective I am with my podcast guests, because there's a mission and an agenda behind the podcast. And so, you know, every now and then, especially now that it's picked up a lot of attention, you know, I got a lot of people always asking me, like, hey, EJ, like, if you're willing, I'd love to come on, you know? And it's not to say, like, oh, this podcast is, like, all too good for everybody. It's just, you know, I just know deep down in my gut, my heart, when I know somebody would be, or someone would be amazing on it. And, you know, let's be honest, like, you know, you asked me, like, hey, EJ, if there's room for me, I'd love to come on.
Of
and
course.
Automatically, like, I gotta tell you, the people who do ask me, like, you know, the idea's out there, and then I have to think about it. But with you, it was an automatic yes, dude.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, you know, with your podcast, when I first tuned in was with Miguel's interview, and
Miguel from South Made.
Yeah,
Miguel
from
Aguilar
South Made.
from South Made.
Yeah, shout out to Miguel, man, wonderful guy. So I was just so thrilled by the conversations that you guys had in the podcast. I was like, this is actually one of my favorite podcasts. I was like, this host can ask legit questions and not ask what everyone else is asking. Prior to him, I believe I saw another podcast, but I was just so happy that I came across it, because then I was like, yo, man, I would love to be interviewing with that guy. He just asked the right questions. He knows how to move, you know, his guest. I mean, if you captivated me, shit, I'm pretty sure you captivated many other people.
I like to move differently,
right? Right. No, but it was such a blessing. And then once, you know, we partnered up and we met each other, I believe I told you I'm very selective with who I partner up with. So me being a part of your podcast, I'm telling you, it's such a blessing, because I know you personally. So, you know, we do have that right to be selective with who we bring on board, because, you know, you want to represent not just your brand, but, you know, you want to give your guests so much value.
Yeah. And I don't even think it's not just about podcasts too. In general.
Yeah. Circle.
Yeah. Your circle, right?
Yeah.
You know, so, no, man. And, like I said, man, it's one of those things where I tell a lot of people this, like, I wish I was mic'd up all the time, because some of the conversations we've had, whether that's on the gym or, you know, wherever, you know, we did at Progression, just everywhere, like when we were in proximity, you know, among each other, we've shared some pretty incredible, like, conversations. And sometimes I wish like somebody had just create like, I don't know, like a freaking like just a small mic where you could be recorded, man, because I feel, and I say that because I respect you, for your age. How old are you again? I always forget.
You know what, bro? I just turned 25. When I
Okay,
met
that's
you,
right.
I had just turned 24.
Yeah, so for your age, I admire you because of where your mindset's at. And there was no question again, like when you asked to come on, I was like, bro, definitely come on because I feel like you could bring a whole new, fresh perspective and your mindset. It blows me away. I learned a lot of stuff from you, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, there's no question the audience could get that too. So anyway, before the recording, we were talking a little bit about about LA, where you're from. I don't know how much light you want to shed on that, but let's talk just so everybody kind of gets to know you. Then we'll slowly start walking through how we met, and then go from there.
Yeah,
Talk about your upbringing and little things like that, so people get to know you.
Okay, so I always mention LA to everyone. Everyone I come across, whether it's my clients, friends, family. I'm just so humbled to be raised in Los Angeles. Los Angeles was good and bad to me, but I'm just very happy that it happened that way. I wouldn't have it any other way because, 90% of my friends, they weren't born in Los Angeles. They come from, Montebello, West Covina, San Gabriel Valley, the IE. So sometimes it's hard for me to relate with them.
Yeah, it makes
right?
sense. Yeah, it
It's
makes
so
sense.
hard for me to relate with them. So my upbringing was such a blessing again. So I was raised in South Los Angeles. That's what they call it now. But when I was born, which was in 1994, it was known as South Central Los Angeles. So yes, I do come from a very rough neighborhood. I do come from a tough upbringing. However, that didn't affect me whatsoever, to be honest with you. I come from such a good family. My father, you met my father the day of the event that we were in together.
Yeah.
My dad was just somebody different than the normal people that raise you in Los Angeles. My dad taught me, morals, ethics, not just that, but leadership, and that's what made me a little different than everybody else that I grew up with. So
Yeah.
even though I was born in South Los Angeles, I never went to school in Los Angeles till high school.
Interesting.
Yeah, man.
Why is that?
Well, so my dad, when my dad, migrated from Mexico, my dad came over when he was 3 years old. And then, from 3 years old and up, my dad went to good schools. As funny as it sounds, my dad went to elementary here in Los Angeles. And then as soon as he hit the 6th grade, he went to the same middle school that I went to, which is Frost Middle School, which is in San Fernando Valley. However, for you to get into those schools, you had to be a really good student in elementary. As weird as it sounds, but they would test you. So I tested before getting into that school, and blissfully I was accepted to that school. So I went to.
How far is that distance?
So, well, damn, bro, it's a drive. It was like an hour and a half drive. I had to wake up at 5 a.m. to catch the bus at 5:30 a.m. to be at school by 7 a.m.
And what was the reason for going to that particular school? Just curious.
Oh, well, that's a good question. So my dad wanted the best for me. My dad didn't want me to be a part of the whole LA scenery.
Gotcha.
He felt
smart.
No, I think that's what made me different than my friends coming up. So my dad said, "Hey, I don't want you to be a part of that LA scenery. You're gonna end up being either a gang member, you're gonna be influenced by the wrong people." So I said, "You know what, Dad? Since you went to that school, I want to go to that school." So it was never like a ifs or buts. I wanted to go to that school because my father went to that school, and he
I'm
said
sure
it
that
with
made him
pride.
proud, right?
Oh, bro, it was the biggest blessing. My dad's like, "If I have to drive and pick you up for you to go to school, I'm doing it."
That's awesome.
So yeah, man. So I've been waking up early since I was in the 6th grade. So it's pretty funny, but yeah, catching the bus. So
Did he do that thing where you changed the address on purpose?
bro, you have no idea. I did. Now that you bring it up,
That's what you have to do.
So
right?
so
To cheat the system, I guess.
Hey, for those listening out there, man, if you have kids and you want them to go to school in a very nice area, you better know somebody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into that stuff, bro. That hit home. So my dad's boss actually lived in Silmar. My school was in Granada Hills, so my dad's boss was kind enough to let him use his home address.
Yeah.
And they're like, Chris lives in Sylmar? Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can go to Granada Hills, no problem. But no one knew this. I lived in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a bus an hour to get there and an hour back. So
Damn.
school started at 7 a.m. It would end at 3 p.m. I wouldn't be home till 6 p.m.
Wow.
And I had to walk home,
Mm.
late night, go to my house. My dad got out of work till 7 p.m. so he couldn't pick me up. So, just going to school outside of LA taught me that work ethic
Yeah.
of, putting in the work and getting the results. And if it wasn't for that school, I don't think I would have a great education system, to
Yeah,
be very
I think
honest.
about. I just think I'm trying to. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like the scheduling, and I feel like, at least for me, this is the sense I'm getting. Like, it almost played a role in like who you are and how you schedule yourself now. Because you think about it, as a young kid, that's a tough schedule.
Yes, of
That's
course.
like what? Like that's like almost 3/4 of your day before you sleep.
Before I sleep.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just
So
traveling in
it's
school and
it's
back and forth.
crazy. It's crazy. So unfortunately for me, I was going to school in the San Fernando Valley, went to Robert Frost. I did some summer school in LA, not gonna lie. I
Mm-hmm.
did do some summer school in LA, which had me back and forth, had me at home with my, parents.
Mm-hmm.
I went to high school in Granada Hills. I went to a school called John F. Kennedy High School,
Yeah.
which my father went to as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really hard school to get in. It was not that far from my middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Right. However, the reason why I stopped going to that high school is because I got really sick from my asthma. Well, I have asthma,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
getting
Interesting.
up very early, coming home really late, and the weather in the San Fernando Valley compared to LA, it's a little colder, a
Mm-hmm.
lot hotter.
Mm-hmm.
So me, adapting to those, weather changes actually really got me sick. So
Wow, I didn't know that.
yeah, so I ended up getting hospitalized for pneumonia, and bro, that's what changed me for good. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, you know what? Talk about sacrifices. I had to, make that sacrifice of not going to school and get a good education in the San Fernando Valley. And it was such a good school, man. I would have probably went further in my education if I would have stayed. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm blessed to have finished off in LA, and then in high school, that's when I got to, rekindle things with my, early childhood and, stuff like that. But yeah, man, growing up in Los Angeles taught me three things, which is respect,
Mm-hmm.
which that is why if you, meet and greet me, that's why you see me with so much respect, taught me respect, loyalty. You have to be loyal to the people that are with you in your circle, not just that, but
Yeah.
to your family.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important one would be lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say lessons is because growing up in LA and then coming from another neighborhood, it teaches you perspective, man. I had a
bet.
little different than everyone else. I'm not gonna say, oh my God, I was gang affiliated. My dad did drugs. My dad got shot at, etc. No, that's not the point. I think people make LA sound like more than what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, the lessons that I learned was you have to grind every day. Because right there, I guarantee that you have no chances of surviving.
Yeah.
Dead serious. Like if you don't work hard, if you don't have a job, if you're not hustling, you can't make it in LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just
For
the
sure.
that's just the code. But like I said, I'm thankful that I grew up there because it taught me like that hard work that I have now. So
Yeah.
without the city, I probably wouldn't. I probably would be a homebody or not do anything with my life. So yeah, that's just with Los Angeles. That's what it taught me. So I'm like I said, I'm very grateful. I've met so many people. If you do go to LA, which I do want you to, I'll show you around where where I was raised at, and you would see people come out of the house and say, "Hey, Chris," or "Hey, what's up?" Because that's how much respect we had for one another.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like how I talk with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love talking to the neighbors, etc. But that's for another day, bro. Just
Yeah.
so you can kind of see where I grew up. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
LA
No,
for
I
you.
think. So what's interesting is I never knew that about you. I knew
Yeah.
you're from LA, but I didn't
Yeah.
know you went to a different school system outside of the city.
Yeah, had to, man.
And I find it interesting now. Just if we think about it and we point it out, it's kind of like you went to a different school just to get away from the environment for a better, education.
Yeah.
Your dad wanted what's best for you, but then you were kind of forced to come back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you got best of both worlds in that, into a sense that you were trying to stay away from the environment in LA, but then you had to go back to it. So it's kind of like, how like some people they might leave like a city or where they're from completely,
Yeah.
and then when they go back, they're almost like lost or there's no identity there,
Yeah,
and
of course.
it's almost like a crisis. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, or like they don't even like it's kind of like they're lost as far as like where they came from. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like you because you were forced back and because you lived there. It's kind of like you got almost got the best of both worlds, I guess you could say. That's kind of how I
Yeah.
see it.
You know what, EJ? I'm not even gonna lie. It humbled me. It humbled me so bad. I hear people complain. Sometimes my clients complain, or sometimes my circle they complain about certain things, and then I tell them like, you should be really grateful.
Yeah,
You should be really grateful, bro. I come from a place where I don't even think you would be able to survive, and I mean that in the nicest way. I'm talking about you never had guaranteed food on the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Teaches his work ethic. We come from a 2-bedroom apartment, bro.
Yeah.
There's like 10 people living in.
Yeah.
Right? So we all had to stack up. So I tell people like, you should really be humble. So me going to San Fernando Valley and being from Los Angeles, I would take advantage of every opportunity. Even now, like if I come to, the IE, like I told you when I got here, I'm so thankful to have this scenery.
Yeah.
It's a different bliss. So I'm just a very grateful person in general. So that LA does teach you perspective.
Yeah.
And anyone can vouch for that.
It's interesting because with me, I almost feel that way in regards to IE is always home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always feel like IE is beautiful. And it's funny because there's some people I grew up with who are just like, I got to get out of here. Fuck this place. And I'm just kind of like, I don't understand. Like, there's some people who don't, this is totally a random thought, by the way. There's some people who like, they're almost like ashamed where they came from.
Oh, yeah.
And I get it, especially if you just had a tough upbringing or it brings back like dark, it brings you back to a dark
Yeah, of
space.
course.
But like, to me, I'm kind of like, dude, where you came from has molded you to that whole new person, whether it was bad where you came from or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm trying to say is too. Like I almost look at like IE, but then I also like when I go to Orange County, I'm like, oh man, like it opens my eyes too. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But then like it's like you said too. I feel grateful like where I came from as well, man. It's just like, two different worlds. Like, LA, IE is totally different, but I almost feel the same way,
Yeah.
And I bring that up too, just think about because you are not ashamed of saying where you're from, where you come from. And I'm the same way too. Like,
yeah, not at all.
I don't have IE tattooed on my back or anything, but I will say like, yo, bro, like I'm from the IE. Like I'm like, dude, on my IG bio, it says Inland Empire.
Inland
you know
Empire,
what I'm saying?
Of course.
So let's talk about a little bit. So again, Chris is a personal trainer, and he is my boxing coach. How did that all start? Like, were you a fan growing up into fitness? Was it boxing first? Like, talk to me about that a little bit.
Okay, so the story of me, of how I became a trainer, would be very unorthodox. You wouldn't even be able to relate it.
Yeah.
So, growing up, I've always played football.
Okay.
I played football as a little kid. I played football in high school. I played football in college. So I was always that athletic person. And a lot of people don't know this. You know this personally, but I hate telling people that I have asthma. So when I was hospitalized...
I get that sense a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just knowing you. Yeah.
Yeah, so at a very early age, a doctor, the respiratory therapist. I saw a respiratory therapist, and they told me, hey, Chris, I'm just going to keep it real with you. And I hate to be the one to tell you this. And this, I don't know if I was... from age anywhere from 8 to 10.
Yeah.
I don't recall. So I'm sorry about that. The doctor told me, you're never going to be able to play sports. You're never going to be able to run. You're never going to be able to be on a football team. You're never going to be able to have that, like, that feeling of being in a sport.
Yeah.
And, dude, that shit stuck with me. I was like...
You're young.
I was like, what?
To you, sports is like play.
Yeah, of course. So, growing up, I did have really bad asthma.
Yeah.
And I was hospitalized every month. Shit, man. I would get sick consistently. So when that person told me, hey, you're not going to play any sport. You're not going to do nothing growing up. It stood with me. I was like, damn, man. Like, what am I going to do now? Like, my hopes and dreams are gone. So I took initiative and I told my father, like, hey, I want to play sports, even if it kills me. Legit. My dad would tell you that.
Yeah.
So he always looks at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
So the first sport that my father put me in was boxing.
Nice.
My father had put me...
Around what age?
It's either, like I said, either from 8 to 10.
Okay, so around 10 years.
8 to 10, yeah.
Okay.
So he put me into boxing, and I fell in love with the sport. I think I might be biased, but my dad was a big boxing fan, so was my grandpa. And my dad used to box when he was younger as well. But I just really love the sport. It taught me so much value, taught me so many lessons, about, diversity. When stuff gets tough, you either quit or you fight through it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Same thing as football. So that's what sparked me into wanting to be somebody in the fitness industry at an early age.
Yeah.
However, how I became a trainer, it's very funny. I was watching a show, okay? You might remember this show because it's not hard to miss.
Okay.
The show was called My 500 Pound Life.
Okay. All right.
You think I know
Yeah.
where you think I'm going, right? So My 500 Pound Life, I just saw that there was so many people with, obesity, diabetes. Not just that, but like they were about to die.
Yeah.
And I remember telling my wife, like, look, man, I would give anything to be a trainer. This was at an early age. At 18 years, I told her I would give anything to be a trainer.
Yeah.
Anything. I just want to help people. Like, I want to help people eat healthy, be healthy, but most importantly, feel good. Right? So I was already boxing. I already played football. So I learned so many fundamentals. And then the next step was for me to get certified. So I got certified and I said, yeah, I'll be a trainer. So as I got started as a trainer, I was blessed enough to intern at a gym, which was Sam's gym, the Cam Transformation Center. Shout out to Sam, my boy.
Sam Bakhtiar, who was a past guest on the Parables, by the way.
Yeah, so I was doing a 6-week challenge.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I knew you worked there, but I didn't know like that was like your kind of like your start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
was doing a 6-week challenge, and I said, I'm not overweight or anything, but I could take my body to the next level, right? So I said, before I can help people, I must first,
Let me get into their world.
let me get into their world.
Like mind and physical.
Mind, body, soul. So
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me see what it is to be overweight. Let me know what it is to be committed to eat healthy, to train 5 times a week, and to say no to bad influence. And by bad influence, I mean, going out and partying, drinking, and, eating junk food or fast food. So I did a 6-week challenge and I passed. But for those 6 weeks, I'm telling you, EJ, I committed and I overcommitted. Just like you, when you started training with me, you're like, hey, Chris, something about me is I like to go all in. So, right?
We'll tell that story too.
We'll tell that story too. No, but that was me, bro. As soon as I signed up, I was investing in myself. I was investing in my future business.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I never saw it as I'm wasting money or I'm spending money. No, to me, it was an investment. So I did the challenge. I passed it with flying colors.
Yeah.
Right. And the goal for me was to lose 5% body fat in 6 weeks. And I did it.
Yeah.
I believe I lost 6.5 to 7% body fat, lost 10 pounds, and transformed my body. So I fell in love with the process, man. I was like, this feels so good. I feel like a new person.
Yeah.
So I said I would give anything to help people, teach them what I went through and what I've learned. So the franchise owner was kind enough to invest in me as well. He's like, hey, man, look, your work ethic was incredible. You would be here day and night. You would be the first one to come and the last one to leave.
So he definitely saw something in you.
Yeah, he definitely gave me that opportunity. Not just that, but when it was time to go, I would also help clean up.
Yeah.
I would ask like, hey, how could I be of service to you? You were of service to me. You helped me lose weight. You changed my life. How could I be of service
But
to you?
why is that? And I'm bringing that up because I want people to see that kind of connection. Why did you want to invest yourself into that place? Is it because you saw something within the company, you love the values, or was it because you felt rewarded as far as what they brought to your life, like and the the opportunities?
I feel both, honestly.
Okay.
So
You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like
Oh, yeah.
sometimes people feel like they need something first in order to invest, and I feel like you weren't like that. It was
No.
like you said, you just said it's both. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, so I would say both. I really was, like I told you, bro, I'm a really thankful and grateful person. So when they changed my life, when they educated me with fitness and health,
Yeah.
I said I have to pay it forward any way possible.
There we go. Yeah.
No,
I love
no,
that.
no questions. So even with yourself, I'm always trying to be courteous to people, even those around me. So I said, How could I be of service to you?
Mm.
Can I take out your trash? Can I help you pick up? Can I help you, set up for the next day? What can I do for you?
Mm-hmm.
And the owner asked me, why do you want to help me?
Yeah.
Like,
See, and
you're
see,
not,
right?
yeah,
Sometimes people are so taken away from that, like, man, like, what's in it for him? What's he trying to do? What's
yeah,
his agenda?
yeah.
You know?
So obviously it was not to get a hookup on a membership because my membership was paid for.
Yeah, yeah.
That's for starters, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
My membership was paid for, but I was just trying to do something positive. I wanted to give something back.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that I could give back is myself.
Mm-hmm.
Give free hours to the gym if I could because they paid the way for me. Right.
I like that too. Sorry, I keep interrupting because
Yeah.
this is important. Sometimes people feel like to give back, it has to be almost something like tangible.
No.
Or like,
Yeah.
a product or something.
Yeah.
Or money.
Yeah.
But why can't it be you?
Yeah.
Like you said, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you wanted to give them you as a paying it forward.
Paying it forward.
And paying it back to a sense, right? Go ahead, keep going.
So with that being said, he said, you know what, Chris? I like you. I don't know what is it about you. I don't know if it's because you live in the city and you're close by, but I want to take a leap of faith and I want to bring you on board.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I said, are you serious? I told the owner, I said, hey, as crazy as it sounds, I was at church Sunday, and I was already working a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, bro, I feel like crying right now. He's like, the hell? What's wrong with you, man? Like, so I was like,
he's like, oh man, this kid's
I was
emotional
like,
too.
yeah, right. So he told me, what's on your mind? And I said, what? You're listening to me? Like, I couldn't believe it. Because in LA, people would be like, why be a little bitch for it, right? That's what they say. Or like, man up, fool. That's what they'll tell you.
Yeah.
But he said, tell me what's on your mind. That came so, like, that shocked me.
He was really interested. He's interested. Yeah,
so someone was willing to listen. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what, bro? I was at church Sunday, and the pastor gave something very powerful. He said, the service we pay in this world, right? I mean, the rent we pay in this world is providing service for someone else. Mm-hmm. So when he said that, I said, man, that's such a profound message. So I told God, I was praying. I told my grandma too, hey, grandma, I would give anything to leave my job and just be of service of God. Mm-hmm. And not knowing that the next couple of days, God answered my prayer and introduced me into being service to others, but through fitness. Mm-hmm. So that to me was it was a sign from God. Yeah. There's no way for me to put it, but it was a sign from God. So I told him that. He's like, bro, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. He's like, something in me told me to give you that opportunity. Mm-hmm. So moving forward, let's create something together. Yeah. And then, from there, fast forward years into the business, very early on, I believe I was 19 and a half or 20. But the gym owner said, hey, Chris, I have a mentor that I want you to meet. Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't inspire you the way that I do, then I don't think this field is going to be for you. Yeah. And that mentor happened to be Sam. Yeah. Sam Bakhtiar. And, I spoke to Sam and I told Sam, man, I want to own my own gym one day. And Sam humbled me. He's like, bro, before you can own a gym, I want you to work for me. And I want you to really work for me to understand the process of how gyms operate, how to be a personal trainer, how to be more than a trainer, but how to be a leader for the business. So I said, okay.
That's
cool.
Good. He's being real.
Yeah, he's being real. Yeah. So I said, okay, man, let's do it. So after that conversation with Sam, the owner that I worked for in LA said, hey, Chris, this is a powerful opportunity for you. Please don't hesitate twice and take this offer. I'm telling you right now, your family's going to be good. You're never going to need nothing. And I can guarantee you, because this opportunity was brought to me when I was 30 years old. He's like, you're younger than me. Yeah. You're going to do something so great. So I said, okay, let's do it. Mm-hmm. The job offer was to be a camp franchise director for the city of Chatsworth. Mm-hmm. I live in LA. Chatsworth's another hour and 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. So I said, wow, I'm about to make good money. I'm about to commute hella hours. And I'm about to invest into someone else's business by being the leader of their business when they're not there. Long story short, I took the job. I killed it for 3 months. Was doing such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I brought that LA vibe to Chatsworth.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
people were so grateful for it. They were
Yeah.
enamored by my work ethic, by my workouts, but just me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so ashamed to tell them my age because I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude, I'm so young. They're not going to respect me as their director. They're not going to respect me as their trainer. Like, they're going to be like, this guy's a little kid.
mm-hmm.
So I put in my time as a director in that location. And I want people to hear this because this is what actually made me as a personal trainer now.
Mm-hmm.
The owner came back because she had just opened up a new franchise
Mm-hmm.
in Texas, right? So I was taking care of business for her
While she was gone.
while she was gone. That was a big responsibility, bro. That was a big responsibility.
Yeah.
I had someone's finances in my hands,
Mm-hmm.
and this was going to determine if I would be a good business owner at an early age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I get a reality check, bro. I was moving too high, fast, too fast. I didn't even get the chance to do the groundwork.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel ashamed that I jumped so fast up without even climbing the ladders. The lady sits me in her office and says this, hey, Chris, I want to thank you for the time and the commitment you've put in my gym. Unfortunately, you didn't do your part, and it's best if we part ways.
Dang.
So I quit my full-time job for her.
Mm-hmm.
I quit my side jobs for her as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get into that too. And believe it or not, I was so sad.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I was,
would imagine,
man,
yeah.
bro. I was like, how am I gonna tell my girlfriend
Yeah.
that I got fired?
Yeah. But then it was also a big opportunity, so I'm sure during that time,
Oh my God,
it was
bro.
like a disappointment
It-
and discouragement.
It gets better. The first person that I call was the owner from LA.
Mm-hmm.
I said, hey man, you already know why I'm calling you. He said, yeah, I do. He's like, I'm so happy. I was like, what do you mean you're happy, fool? Like, you're the one
Oh,
that...
he said he was happy?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
happy.
what the heck?
He's like, I'm happy because now you're mine. So I was like, okay, bro. He's like, look, Chris, you're young. I wanted you to be a part of that. And I'm going to tell you something. You did really good as a franchise director in 3 months. You made really good money for this lady.
Yeah.
I'm going to offer you a job right now. The job's not going to pay as much as she did, but I guarantee that you don't have to worry about getting fired.
Yeah.
So I said, bet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I got humbled, where I started from the bottom.
Yeah.
I was already at the top. And when I started from the bottom, I didn't approach it as if I had that opportunity of being a director.
I see what you're saying. Like your mind and the approach was different because clearly one is higher than the other. Yeah, yeah.
So I said, let me humble myself and let me start from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back to the drawing board and let me see where I messed up and how I can redeem myself. So fast forward, I became their director of operations.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to these two, man. I wish I can disclose their names, but we've moved on. We've parted ways for good. They were opening business left and right.
Yeah.
Right. So they're like, hey, Chris, we're going to leave you our baby. I was fortunate enough to redeem myself by outselling any camp franchise
Mm-hmm.
in as a director for the city of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the best moments was me telling my old, boss that let me go, like, are you proud of my results? She's like, you have no fucking idea.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't picture you being this successful elsewhere.
Yeah.
So this was the best thing that happened to you. And, from there, the franchise owners, they left me in charge into all their locations. Ended up opening like 5 or 6 locations. And, I was a trainer for all of their locations, and I was a director. So that's where I got into the people business, hearing people's stories, not just that, but, really taking the time and sitting down with them and understanding their why.
Mm-hmm.
Why they want to lose weight, why they want to transform, why are they going to enroll into our program, and why do they trust me instead of anyone else?
Yeah. And that kind of reinforces the thing that you heard when you went that one time you went to church, and it's like, hey, you got to be a service to people. It reinforced everything.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, I did my time and I was so grateful to work for the Camp Transformation Center. It taught me a lot of things. And if it wasn't for me working for the camp, I wouldn't have CD Fitness, which is now my personal training brand. If it makes sense. Because if I would have jumped into personal training without me having to, work my way up, I would be lost. So I'm really thankful for that opportunity of me starting from the bottom and working my way all the way to the top. So I did every single position you can think of in the gym.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it's kind of like you start from the bottom, you went to the top, and then you kind of went back to the bottom again. So that's like, good. Like you said, it humbled you.
Yeah.
But it played a huge role in CD Fitness now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, let's talk about a little bit, just real quick, how you transitioned to. So you were doing, because obviously the camp is boot camp style.
Yeah, boot camp style.
Yeah. Let's talk about when you. I don't want to say like a leap of faith, because you've been boxing since a young kid.
Yeah.
But when did you were like, okay, I want to do training and boxing, and then you do, to everybody out there, he does personal training also for all types of. Fitness levels, not just boxing, but your specialty.
My specialty is boxing.
And
boxing. I claim that shit with a passion.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that's just to go show, like, I train with Chris for boxing. And that's not to discredit that you can't do anything else, but I know for sure I will go to you for boxing.
Yeah, of course. So, look, it's funny that you mentioned that. When I was at the camp, I actually started at the camp. So, the camp, check this out. The camp used to offer personal training. Like they used to call it elite teams.
Okay, gotcha.
So this was a good way of a personal trainer to make extra money.
Yeah.
Aside of their hourly rate.
Gotcha.
So people would have to sign up for your elite team. But again, people would have to know who you are, and they would have to like you to be in your elite team. So they would sign up, and then there was like 5 trainers on board. So how was I going to be different?
Yeah.
I got it. I said, I'm going to bring out the first boxing elite team. And it fucking worked.
Yeah.
It worked. First time around, I ended up signing 20 people. That's 20 clients. Those are my 20 clients.
Yeah.
Right? Where I would do boot camp style boxing training. But then I would also tell them, hey guys, look, in the future, I'm going to be offering one-on-one boxing training. Can I experiment with you guys? Can I be candid? And I'll let you guys know that I've never done this before. As far as doing one-on-one training with boxing. It's always been boot camp style. They're like, Chris, we trust you. Whatever you want to bring out, whatever you want to teach us, do it. We have faith in you. So if it wasn't for those 20 individuals, I probably think I wouldn't even offer boxing right now. As personal training goes. But yeah with boxing, how I started that specialty when I came on to self-made, I said, okay, look, I have to take notes. There's going to be 40 trainers coming in on board. Some of them are going to offer the same style of training. How am I going to be different?
I love it, man.
How am I going to be unique?
Yeah.
So that people won't be like, oh, he's just another trainer in the gym.
Yeah. It's the same way I approach with podcasting. How am I going to be a different podcaster? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So when I started with self-made, I was promoting more of personal training. And I would deviate from my boxing business. And there was this one time where I spoke with Jason. Jason's the franchise owner of Self-Made.
Jason Tam, shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to Jason.
He was a past guest on the Parables, by the way.
So I spoke to Jason. I told him, hey, Jason, look, man, I've ran people's businesses, but I've never ran my personal business. And I want to be a mentee, and I need you to mentor me and tell me how I can be of service to new clients.
Yeah.
What's your specialty? I said, weight training. No. What's your specialty? I was like, shit. He's like, bro, how I know you and how I know of you is because you're always posting boxing content. Own that shit. Own it.
Fucking Jason.
Yeah, man. he's like, oh, own that shit. Just having that conversation with Jason, I went back to the drawing board and I said, hey, from now on, I'm going to be known as the go-to boxing coach.
There you go.
That's going to be me. That's going to be my identity. So
Well, you got my attention.
right,
Hey, it worked.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. And you know, at first I was very hesitant to post my content when
Yeah.
it came down to boxing, and I want to clear that message up right now because you told me, Chris, if you want to be discovered, you do have to post content. But I can see why you don't post it. So there's this trainer that I've always admired throughout my whole career of personal training. And you know of this person. He's well known everywhere. His name is Tim Grover. Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's coach, Kobe Bryant's coach, LeBron James' coach, Dwayne Wade, and the list goes on. But one of the unique...
Was he LeBron James' coach too?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, bro. He trained everybody.
Okay.
One thing that made him very unique was that he never posts content.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like he'll give teasers,
Yeah.
and then he would lure people in, and he'd be like, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
It's like he was like underground. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I said, I want that Tim Grover approach for my business.
Yeah.
And fuck, man. Tim Grover, I love you to death, but that shit didn't work for me. That shit did not work for me whatsoever.
That'd probably be the best part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Respect you, but
respect
nah.
you. No, because I wanted people to feel like, damn, that shit's exclusive. If I'm training with Chris, that shit's not posted on his Instagram. I've never seen shit that he does before on anybody's Instagram.
Yeah.
That guy's fucking unique. So it gave that big buzz like, hey, let's go train with Chris.
Yeah.
He's doing some crazy shit out there in self-made.
Yeah.
So moving forward with that personal training brand with boxing, I've been able to be so successful with boxing, not because me teaching them the sport, but me relating the sport to their personal life.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
So...
Which, by the way, guys, Chris, he trains pro boxers.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's a pro boxing trainer. And I want to point out something that I just realized I found interesting is that when I think of a pro trainer of boxing, I would imagine they would be like, I don't know, at some elite, well-known boxing, just strictly boxing gym, like Wild Card Gym or something. You know
Wild Card, of course, yeah.
Yeah, but like that just only speaks on behalf of where your success could take you as far as what you do because... You know, and this is not to discredit self-made because, you know, I'm all about self-made training facility. Is that, you know, that's a personal training facility for like all walks of fitness and different types of sports. But that just goes to show like, man, you could thrive in a specialty in a gym like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just like a pro, like you're not just training people at a pro boxing gym. You're like at a different gym that meets the needs of other people.
Yeah.
And I just find that interesting. Like, and then you're killing it, bro. Like, and you're pro boxing trainer.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, bro. So a lot of people don't know this, but in Los Angeles, there's so many boxing gyms.
Yeah.
Like there's so many. Before even going to self-made, I was offered a job elsewhere.
Yeah.
Bro, like 2 blocks from my house.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. So I commute 45 minutes every day from South LA to West Covina.
Yeah.
It was something about what Miguel did for self-made, how he impacted me to want to be a part of self-made. So it's actually bigger than fitness. It's always bigger than fitness.
Yeah. And that's probably the separator.
Yeah, man, you have no idea, bro. I get asked all the time, bro, you are a boxing coach. Go to a boxing gym.
Yeah.
No. The reason why I came on board with self-made, and I want to be raw. And if I offend anyone, or if anyone hears this, I don't give a fuck.
Too bad, because Parable is going to be aired for like the next 100 years.
Hey, bro, like, I can say that with much respect, and I say it humbly. I don't give a fuck. I was so tired of building people's brand. And I slaved for people that didn't believe in my vision. I was too busy growing their brand, and I was too stupid to not realize that I was letting myself go in their brand. I lost myself in someone's brand.
I see what you're
In other
saying.
words. So
wait, is it safe to say that you when you would train these people that you're these clients, you were training them, but you also help build their brand but it kind of like to a sense like you lost kind of like the growth in it, or how exactly would you?
I love that question. So the whole time I was worried about promoting their brand, their name.
I see.
In general, I was deviating from CD Fitness.
I see.
Whatever CD Fitness stands for.
Yeah.
So I was so like happy to just have these people as clients. Not just that, but employers as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So the reason why I went to self-made was because I wanted to be self-made.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to grow my brand, period. And that was the goal of 2019. And thank God it fucking happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was not about to put up with nobody else's shit. I was done, bro. I was like fried. I was so affected by other people's brands, drama, that I've never told nobody this. My girlfriend knows. Eric knows. I have never told you, but I said, fuck fitness. I don't want to work out. I don't want to be in no gym. I don't want to hear the word gym. I just don't want to be around it. Because so many fucking people were fabricating their success.
Yeah.
And they were bringing me down with them.
Yeah, yeah.
So
no, there's no question. I'll even say it. I'll say it. Like, I'm not afraid to say it. Like, it's funny because I feel like I'm getting sucked into the world of fitness, even though I don't feel like that's my life. But fitness revolves around like everything that I represent too, being a nurse, just being trying to be healthy and the mindset and all that stuff. And it's true. Like, if there's anything I'm learning, especially with my past guests and all the relations I got, is like, one, it's cutthroat. Second, there's a lot of haters.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's insane, dude. Like, I even to me, I'm kind of like, man, dude, like, to the people who are thriving off of it, like the real good people that are thriving off of it, like, kudos to them. But like, I completely agree. Like, it's crazy, man. It's a crazy industry for sure.
I think even when you see me, the last thing that I want to do in my fitness environment is bring up the past. I feel people who live in the past, they have no direction. It's very hard for them.
Yeah, no, so true.
So people who live in the past have no direction. People who live in the future are sick, bro. They're going crazy. They're too worried about the future.
They're attached to.
They're attached to this notion that, oh, I want to be successful in the future. In the future, everything's in the future. Oh, in the future, I'll get into shape. In the future, I'll train with you. In the future, I'll be somebody.
Yeah.
Bro, worry about the fucking present.
Yeah.
That's what I tell everybody. Like, worry about the present. So I did hate to bring that up, but bro, man, I was just exhausted with putting in work and time for someone else, and they wouldn't recognize it.
Yeah.
And believe me, I don't want to sound petty.
Yeah.
And you know, and I don't want people to be like, oh, you need recognition, you know, to feel validated or something.
No, that's
nah,
bullshit.
bro.
I'll add on to it after this. Yeah, yeah.
I just want to tell people that if you're gonna grow your brand, stop fucking doing shit for other people. Invest in yourself all in, and that's final. Moving forward, that's my attitude.
Yeah.
So if you want to even partner up with me, you need to match my core values.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is what I tell people. In the gym membership, it's all about making money at a big box gym.
Yeah.
At a big box gym. Trust me, because I've worked at big box gyms. So I know what it's all about. Selling memberships, selling yearly memberships, etc. The business was so cutthroat that they didn't give a fuck about people. All they cared about was, I'm going to charge this ass monthly. I don't care if he shows up. I'm still going to get paid.
Yeah.
I was like, how can you take advantage of somebody?
It's like there's no tools, resources, there's no accountability, like all that stuff that's attached. Yeah,
there is no education, bro.
Yeah.
There's no education. So I said, how am I going to be different?
No.
You know, these people are going to be like, Joe, the fitness industry is the same. You want to take my money? There's no point.
You know, I'm going to add too. I think you're discrediting yourself a little bit because you're like, you know, like, fuck, I'm just say it. But I think what you're really trying to say, what I'm getting is like, no, like, you're tired of like building these people's personal brands, but really, in a sense, you wanted to build your personal brand, and that's okay because you have a strict sense of core values that you stand by.
Of course.
And again, it's going back to that you want to serve people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I feel like you telling me that story, you're missing that a little bit.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, no, that's like.
I think that's why I was feeling so empty.
Yeah.
Because the service wasn't being provided. And the service wasn't there.
There's no fulfillment.
Yeah, there's no fulfillment in it. So now that I have my personal brand And when I want to partner up with somebody, believe me, bro, I'm not going to say I have a lot of clients. And I'm not going to be that trainer that says, oh, my slots are filling up. Come and train with me. Come and do this. No, bro. I'm not shooting, shots at people. I'm not making fun of anyone.
Yeah.
But I want to tell anybody that's interested in servicing people, make sure that the partnership is right.
Yeah.
And make sure that it's going to be worth your time and their time.
It's an investment on both parts.
It's an investment in both parts.
Yeah.
So now moving forward, the investment has to be worth it.
Yeah.
And I tell people at hand, and you know what they tell me? I like this. I never knew a business can have, core values. Mm-hmm. So what you mean? You didn't know a business can have core values?
Yeah.
I was like, man, the reason why I have core values is because I want you to know what I stand by.
Yeah.
And what you're going to get yourself into.
But it's not even just fitness. It's like that in life, like
that
in
correlates
general.
To life, yeah.
Yeah, like in relationships, like partnerships, like outside of fitness. It's like that too. You treat it like that too. It has to be an investment on both parts.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's a waste of time, basically.
Of course, bro. Of course. That's what I would say about, the fitness industry. And now that I have my brand,
yeah,
I want to bring light to people. I'm so excited, bro. 2019 was such a blessing, bro. Like, I'm gonna tell you this. On my way over here, I was thinking and self-reflecting. What has 2019 brought to me?
Yeah.
Besides meeting amazing people like yourself and people that I'm surrounded by now, and I keep my circle really small. Mm. I don't bro everybody. I don't, hey, like, I'm not so close with people, but my circle's tight and that's all I need. I was self-reflecting and I said, man, I went through every emotion being a business owner for 6.5 months or 7 months. Every emotion. Good, bad, evil, dark times.
Yeah.
And I can tell people this. If you want to pursue something that involves you being self-employed, it's not easy.
Of course.
And I highly recommend that you don't give up, because I've been at it for 6.5 months and I've seen a lot. But I'm actually excited to go another year and see more.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, it's been more than 6 months.
Oh, of course.
If you think about it, if you think about it, you were technically doing that when you worked at the camp. Technically.
Yeah. Technically, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Dude, that's amazing. And I think your approach is what makes you unique and, your business, special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's talk about, I want to jump back real quick before we continue with that. How we met.
Oh, man, that's a beautiful story.
So I want to bring this up because I think it sends a powerful message. So, and again, just jump in because there's lots of things that's happened in my life. I'm like trying to recollect. So I think we just stumbled across each other on social media, on Instagram, and then either I or you messaged me, right? And I think right off the bat, at least for me, on my part, I recognized that, oh, he knows the same people I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we just automatically were like, hey, man. Or I think you were the one who offered it.
Yeah.
You were just like, hey, man, let's just get a workout together. You know what I mean? Let's just meet up and we got some goals. And let's just see how we can help each other. Now, mind you, to everyone listening to this is very powerful because I feel like a lot of people, again, very overlook things like that. And it could be dangerous. Let's just be honest. Like, dude, let's just be real. You're a stranger. I mean, at the time, I don't think I knew you're from. Oh, I think I did because you were telling me how far you were driving. You're from LA. Yeah. Like, let's just be real. Like, you could have been a serial killer for all I know, bro. You know what I'm saying? You could have been some crazy mofo.
I had that crazy profile picture. Like,
you get what I'm saying? But then, like, we met up at the 24 Fitness in Chino.
Yeah.
And like, dude, the rest is fucking history.
Yeah, that's a very important story. And I'm going to tell you why this story is important to me. There are so many people out in the world that are introverts, extroverts.
Yeah.
Right. So many people want to reach out to higher ups. Mm-hmm. It could be anybody, a big CEO.
And you've considered yourself introvert, I think, a couple times, haven't you?
Yeah, sometimes. But like when I meet you in person, oh, bro, it's on and popping. Nothing's off limits. Let's go. Yeah. So I highly recommend that if you want to be a part of something, shoot your shot. I'm telling you, the way that I met Ejay, again, I listen to podcasts every day. I was at the gym doing cardio, and I came across Miguel's podcast. Again, shout out to Miguel. And I was like, the parables, Miguel. I was like, shit, let's do this. Let me listen to it. Like I said, it was one of the best interviews that I've ever heard. And I posted it on my social media, and I said, hey guys, this shit is dope. Go hear it. Go tune in.
Yeah.
Right? And then you had liked it, and you're like, bro, thank you so much for taking the time and shouting me out.
You like that engagement, huh?
Hell yeah. So
you gotta show love to the people who support.
Oh,
man.
of course. So then I was like, bro, don't sweat it. Like, it's all love.
Yeah.
I was really moved by it. So I was like, oh, I don't know you know Sam. I know Sam. You're from Chino? Oh, cool. I go to 24 in Chino. So I was like, hey, bro, let's work out.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm down. I was like, all right, cool. And the rest was history. And for me, to piggyback off of when you're like, bro, let's just be honest. I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, you could have been a serial killer.
Yeah.
I have good intuition. I just trust people.
Yeah. It's one of those things like, and I spoke about this with the power of social media, is sometimes you see who knows a certain individual, and that kind of already says something about them.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I don't know if you remember this. So when we met, that was one of the first times I've ever woken up so early for a freaking gym. That's one thing. Second, Sam and Andrew Cruz were there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andrew Cruz, who was also on the podcast, and he's my gym partner. That was the first time I met him.
Andrew?
Yeah.
I fucking love Andrew.
Yeah,
shout out to Andrew.
That's the first time I met him. So it's just crazy. But I bring that up because it's funny to reflect how we met. But it just goes to show, and again, be careful. But it just goes to show though that sometimes it takes something random like that. So something so spontaneous.
Yeah.
Like, let's just be honest, bro. Like, dude, I could work out with anybody. Like, I've had lots of people ask me to work out with that. I could go with anybody, but I was just like, oh man, like a 4:30 a.m. or whatever it was.
Yeah. So that's the funny part. Chino time, it was 4:30 a.m.
Yeah, and you could drove from LA.
South Central time, it was fucking 2:50 a.m.
yeah.
So my girl's like, dude, where you going? It's 2:50 a.m.
Yeah.
So I'm here thinking I'm about to go creep. So I was like, babe, I told you, right? I'm gonna go work out with Sam and Ejay. You remember? She's like, you didn't tell me shit. I was like, I could have sworn I did. And so she's like, dude, you just got home at 10. You're gonna go work out at 2. She's like, whatever, dude, that's on you.
Yeah.
So I made the drive, and just me driving to Chino just should show like my character.
Yes.
Like, I was willing to.
Well, there's no question. I recognize. I'm like, man, this guy's willing to drive all the way from there just to meet up, possibly get to know each other, and then just have a conversation. That spoke a lot already about you. That, in addition to Sam, Miguel know you, and just all that stuff. And it's just crazy how sometimes I always tell people this, at least for me, I truly believe that God has me cross paths with certain individuals for a reason now. It's not just like, hey, hello, and that's it. What can you do for me? Like, no. Like, I cross paths with different individuals for a certain reason, but now it's even more special because we cross paths, and it's kind of like, for sure, our relationship for the past 6-8 months, whatever it is now, it's true. There's no question it's not going to end.
Yeah,
for a very, very, very long time, probably till the death of me. You know what I mean? And I just think what I'm trying to say is I think people out there, there's a lot of people out there who are always like, man, like, I'm always looking for this opportunity. Like, man, I wish I knew more people.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it doesn't take, like, confidence. It just takes something spontaneous, but also takes courage to just go meet somebody.
Yeah.
Or, like, just be like, hey, like, I always preach this, too, and I know you know this, like, as much as there's bad people in the world, there is actually a lot more good people. You just have to, like, find them. You know what I mean? There's no, like, talented way or creative way to do it. But I would say from my experience meeting you, it's just kind of one of those things like, dude, like, I don't know. Like you said, your intuition, your gut's like, okay, and then these certain people know them. Like, why not? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And one thing that I want to tell people is I hate... You've never really heard me talk about religion. And I've never done that around any of my friends because... everyone's minding their own.
Yeah, it's personal. Yeah,
it's personal. So one thing that I tell people is this. don't treat people based off their sins,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what I mean to say by that is, if you know that this person was a bank robber, he committed a felony, he did stuff in his past, don't treat it that way. And the reason why I say this is, even though people can be bad and you want to search for the good people, the genuine people,
Yeah.
sometimes you have to accept those people that you didn't want to bring in.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what they can offer you. You never know what their intentions are, and you never know what can come of it.
And you never know what they've been through too.
You never know what they've been through. So for
Yeah.
me, how I tell people, remember, there's always two sides of a story.
Yeah.
To you, I can be the most genuine.
Mm-hmm.
To others, I can be a different representation. But I'm me 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I bring people in, I tell them, look, I've heard X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
I know about it. But guess what? I want to build something with you.
Yeah.
Because no one gave you that time and day. But I'm willing to.
Yeah.
Because it takes one person to really change a person.
Yeah. And I want to add too that it's not easy, because natural human behavior is, if you just, I don't know, hear something, whether it's gossip or you know of something of someone, like, I'm not going to lie, the human mind is going to give you this painted picture of them, you know, and that's
Absolutely.
the truth. But
Absolutely.
But that's where that discipline in the mind, in my eyes, like, and it's hard, like I said, but it's funny because I've had this happen a few times. And I'm gonna be real, since you're being we real up in here. You know what I mean?
Be raw.
I've had people, select few guests come on here, and some people are like, "Hey, bro, like, that person is this. They're a fraud. They're this, and that." Or even like people outside of being a podcaster, like just people I've associated myself with, and I'm just finding it crazy because I'm just kind of like, oh, like, that's cool. Like, thank you. Like, I think it comes from good intention. Like, hey, watch out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, hey, dude, like, to me, they've been amazing. They're like, I don't care what they are to the outside world. I care what they are to me. You know what I mean? And I just think, like, some people shouldn't let that, whether that's just gossip or whatever it is, like, paint that picture for somebody. Because that could be a relationship on its own. And you don't know how special that could be.
100%. So, to add to that, for me, if I genuinely don't fuck with you, I won't.
Mm-hmm.
Why bother?
Mm-hmm.
However, just because I heard something about you, that's not how I'm going to portray you. That's not how I'm going to treat you whatsoever. Bro, I see it all the time.
Especially in fitness, I would imagine.
Okay. Yeah. Look, bro, I'm going to be raw. In my fitness industry, everybody's, hey, bro, hey, sis.
Mm-hmm.
Behind closed doors, they talk so much shit about each other.
Yeah, it's not even fitness, too.
It's all talks of life, right?
Yeah.
But let me get to it. You know what I say? I'm like, hey, man, we got to do better than this shit. Mm-hmm. Because there's enough money, enough clients, enough sponsorships. There's enough of everything to go around for everyone.
Yeah.
And I tell people, like, if you don't have nothing nice to say about someone else while you're around me, then don't say it. Because people's drama, like, their fucking energy gravitates towards me. Mm-hmm. And I can't be around people with negative energy. I am a huge believer in energy. If your energy is off, I'll tell you, hey, bro, your energy is off today. I think it's best if we link up tomorrow when you're not feeling some type of way.
I'm allergic to
bro, I'm telling you right now, I'm Hispanic, and in a Hispanic household, that's the first thing they taught us. They're like, hey, if you start feeling some weird shit, it's best if you stay away from that shit for some time. But no, going back to that, I just tell people, like, look, man, we're human. We have flaws. If today is not your day, bro, tomorrow will be better than today. That's just how I am. But you are right, bro. There's so many people talking about people. However, we're going to choose not to bring that to light because there's no need. I mean, people already know that shit. But we're just addressing that. Hey, you should do better.
With me, I think, like, yeah, obviously I have to receive it because it's being told to me, right?
Oh, 100%.
But it's one of those things like, okay, I get it. Like, someone's just expressing, their feelings or whatever
Yeah.
they have thoughts, and I just put it in the back of my head.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Because you heard it already, right? But again, it doesn't affect me what the relationship is to me if there's already one. But I try to keep it open for sure
Yeah.
if it's a new relationship. Like, let's just say I heard something and then I start talking to him, and then you finally realize, like, dang, that's weird because this person's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. I feel like in life, whether it's business or in life, like that just hurts you, man. Because you know me, I'm about people.
Oh man, bro, we're all about
Parable's
people.
about people. Your
Yeah.
business is about people. Life is about people.
We are in the people's industry.
Mm-hmm.
If the people's industry isn't for us, then we shouldn't be in it. Simple.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go back to boxing real quick because you know that's your thing. I want to kind of talk a little bit about. So what drew me to it was, one is I want to get uncomfortable.
Okay.
Second, I wanted to take my fitness to another level.
Okay.
Try something new. But I have always was fascinated by the mental state of boxing.
Okay.
So, from my understanding, when you box, it's super analytical, of course, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like a game of chess. Can you just describe it to anybody who's or anyone that's been contemplating about boxing? Like, what's the mental game behind it? Like, what is needed, or is how tactical is it, analytical, all that stuff.
So with boxing, it's just like, damn, there's no disrespect to the boxing industry because obviously compared to others, I'm probably considered a novice because I'm younger than a lot of folks. But boxing is just like every sport. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the energy, but most importantly, the effort. With boxing, mentally, you have to be flushed and you have to be in the moment. And I've told you that training you. You have to be calm. It's a different sport. Boxing is do or die, like real life situations. Before you know it, life will hit you. So what do we do so life won't hit us? We have to prepare ourselves.
Okay.
The preparation comes with, studying boxing, learning the fundamentals, whether it's feet work, whether it's offense, defense, countering, but most importantly, understanding the sport and what it's all about. So if I can give boxing advice to anyone, it would be learn the sport. And before you want to jump in it, really talk to someone that's going to educate you. That's just something that I do for all my clients. I educate them about everything in boxing. However, with boxing, I relate it to real life. And I've told you that. It sounds weird. I've never been coached that way, but I would want to coach that way.
Yeah.
And the reason for it is because sometimes our mind doesn't pick things up really quick.
Yeah.
So I do something called scenario boxing. I give people real life scenarios. Hey, this is what's going to happen if you do this. This is what I would recommend you do if this happens to you, right? Stuff like that. I play a lot of scenarios. Good scenarios, bad scenarios. If I do my part in doing that, I'm content. And I feel like I'm teaching actual boxing.
Yeah.
Of course, that comes with having a mental, having that mental mind state of saying, oh man, I got to get my shit together.
Yeah.
Because before I know it, I'm going to get hit.
Yeah.
That's happened to you in training. We started doing the noodles. You're like, fuck, I can't focus. Like, this shit's too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told you this, EJ, the reason why you keep getting hit is because you're not focused.
Yeah.
You're not calm. And let me tell everybody this.
But by the way, so when I was training with Chris, he brought out the noodles, the swimming noodles, and we use that, to help spar with defense and the teachings and stuff. And there's no question. I remember I came home one day. I think it was probably the first time I was like, babe, I was telling my wife, like, man, I don't think I've ever been slapped up so much in my life. But it's good. Remember I kept telling you, I was like, dude, I like this.
Yeah.
Not that I like getting slapped around. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's good because it's like, it was teaching me like, holy shit.
Yeah.
There's so many openings and gaps. And I'm like, damn, I'm getting hit up. Like,
of course.
Yo, focus. Exactly what
Focus.
you just said. You know what I'm saying?
So one of the biggest advice that I give to pro fighters, and again, they don't have to accept it. They don't have to go by it. But I tell them, if you're aggressive, you'll always lose the fight. Because when you're aggressive, you can't think.
Yeah.
So
your emotions start to kind of fill in a little bit.
So when your ego gets in the way, your ego gets you punished. However, when you're focused and calm, you can actually execute and think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in real life too. If you're stuck in a bad situation, if you let emotions get the best of you, you're not going to be able to react.
Yeah.
However, if you take a breather, if you're calm, if you readjust and reset, then you're going to be able to perform or execute.
Mm.
So that's why boxing for me is something that I recommend everybody to learn.
Yeah.
Because it teaches you more than the sport.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you like real life accountability. Like, damn, I have to be alert at all times.
Yeah.
I have to be disciplined with my routines, whether it's waking up early, going to the gym, making lunch. It just teaches you consistency as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite boxer and why?
Damn you, dude. Oh my God. Bro, I
We could talk about boxing forever, so I'm gonna leave. Yeah,
Okay.
let's leave
Okay.
that the last question for boxing. Favorite boxer and why?
Okay. My favorite boxer of all time, and not because he's Mexican. And
Yeah,
'cause
right.
I'm-
No, I'm playing.
No, yeah, right. Not because he's Mexican and because I'm Mexican, but it would have to be Canelo Alvarez. And I knew you knew I was going to say that.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because, one, we're both from Guadalajara. I'm not being biased.
Which, by the way, I'm gonna just add on real quick to just add on to the credibility of you.
Yeah.
Is that Chris, as my boxing trainer, would send me clips of Canelo on certain situations of the fight.
Oh, yeah,
And that
I
just
would.
and that just goes to show, like, not only is that your specialty, but just how invested you're in. Because,
Oh.
like, I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, I've worked with personal trainers, and I don't get that investment
Yeah.
like that. Like, if they taught me something like, "Hey, EJ, you should be doing this
Yeah.
with this particular workout," I'm not saying like they should, but that just goes to show the extra mile that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
I'm not calling no one out. I'm just saying like that just shows like how much credibility you have and how much invested you are.
So I'm going to give you a story. Okay, so let me finish the Canelo, actually.
Yeah.
We got time?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, me too. But yeah, just keep going.
Okay, so
we gotta pee.
we gotta pee. So we're gonna make this quick. So my client's ROI, return on their investment, is very important.
Yeah.
So with Canelo Alvarez, right, he taught me so much about the boxing sport.
Mm-hmm.
The good, the bad, the bottom, the top.
Mm-hmm.
However, like, yes, he's at that point in his life where he's the best fighter of the year.
Yeah.
They call him an arrogant or cocky person, whatever it can be. But you have to understand that Canelo came from the bottom and he's worked his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that, but as a fighter, he always puts on a show.
Mm.
And his fighting techniques and tactics, they're always different. They're never the same. They're never the same. His work ethic, I probably watch Canelo every day, bro. And and it's not because I have an obsession with him, but it's because I want to fight just like him in the future. You know, I want to learn everything about Canelo.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I do. I
Yeah.
know it because I study it like no other. I'm always watching boxing every day. So that ROI with my clients. EJ said that I send my clients clips. It's so funny. I had two of my clients spar last week. And I recently started training them apart. Long story short, I told this client, hey, bro, we're going to switch up your style. This is why. And this is how we're going to connect. Fast forward a week later, he didn't even hesitate. He's like, all right, I'm going to listen to you. I was like, study this on your own. I started sending him videos of how he was moving and how I want him to move.
Mm-hmm.
He did a sparring session, I believe, like 2 days ago. And he beat his opponent. And I told him, what did I tell you?
Mm-hmm.
He said, oh my fucking God, bro.
Yeah.
This shit worked.
Yeah,
This is magic. Like, you were right about this. And I was like, no, I just wanted to educate you. That was it.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, this shit really works.
Yeah,
So, yeah, of course, man, the investment in my clients has to be mutual, man.
Mm-hmm. Dude, man, that's crazy. It's just interesting because, when we train, you're always like, say, hey, EJ, try this or try that. And I think that's probably one of the only things that I've really gone into where there's like almost like so much diversification and options of like how you could approach it, which I think is very cool. Because I am a firm believer, and you know this, and I've preached this to you how many times, is that there's not always one way to something. So when it comes to, and we could talk about this when it comes to mentors and people we try to emulate and we want to be counseled by. When someone automatically says this is the only way, that's a huge fucking red flag. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't fuck with people like that no more. that happened to me in the beginning of CD Fitness, which was this year, where people try to kind of give me advice. I'm like, to anyone listening, if someone's offering you advice and they are personally not doing that, don't fucking accept it. And you have every right to call them out on their shit. And sadly, that's why I cut a lot of people, because they wanted to give me advice on my business. They wanted me to paint my business a certain way. And I said, fuck that. I run my own shit. I'm my own image. I love that advice. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's how I want to represent myself. So you're absolutely right, bro.
I think it's okay to listen, but it's kind of like there comes to a certain point, like a fine line where they overstep, and it's kind of like, wait, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And again, that could come from a good heart. You know what I mean? It's just like they want what's best for you, but at the same time, it's kind of like some people just overstep it, I feel. And I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Obviously, I could tell Canelo is probably a huge inspiration. And I ain't gonna lie, my wife told me to ask this about you.
Oh, man, really?
She said she wanted me to ask you, who's your biggest inspirations? I was just telling my wife, like, babe, you know you got so much exclusive rights to the podcast. What do you think I should ask Chris?
Yeah. Okay, so
biggest inspirations. It doesn't have to be sports related, just in general.
I fucking love that question, and it's gonna be all over the place. I'm gonna give you 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 5. First one is gonna be my grandmother. Second one is gonna be my father. Mm-hmm. Third is gonna be Denzel Washington.
Yeah?
Don't even, I'll tell you why.
Denzel? My boy.
The next one's going to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Okay.
And the last and most important will be my kids. Mm-hmm. Period.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be the last one.
Period.
Yeah.
Grandma taught me everything I know, from respect to loyalty, leadership, everything. Father instilled hard work ethic, never give up, even when shit hits the fan. Denzel Washington taught me wisdom, gratefulness, and to get closer to God. Mm-hmm. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson just taught me how to be a people's person and how to over-deliver to people. And my kids would be the reason why I wake up and I go so fucking hard.
Yeah.
My kids are my screensaver for a reason. When I want to give up and I'm in my car saying, fuck, man, why me? Mm-hmm. Look at my kids, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. This is a purpose right here.
Yeah.
And, you know, my girl fucking sends me pictures of my kids on purpose, too.
Yeah.
She sends me texts to remind me and be like, hey, you're not in this shit alone. You know, you got 2 kids and you got me. Fool, you need to go to work.
It's like, pick it up, baby.
Yeah, pick it up, baby. Let go.
Yeah. All right, man. So, man, as a personal trainer and a podcaster, I got to fill up a bladder of steel, bro.
How? Bro, look. I'm not ashamed to say this, but I'm always peeing on myself, bro. I'm always drinking water. So as a trainer, man, I'm probably doing something right. I'm either training core or getting, you know what? I get hit a lot. Mm-hmm. I get punched a lot in the stomach. So maybe that can be.
Yeah. Weak bladder. So one more thing before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you is if there's anything that I admire about you is that I feel like you just have this winning mindset at such a young age. And I hate to attach the young age to you, but I just, the only reason I bring up the age thing is just because, you know, I'm 33 and I look back and I ask myself, man, if I was at Chris's age and had that mindset, I can only imagine where I'd be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think has been, you know, what has helped you develop that winning mindset? And for people kind of trying to find their identity, trying to find who they are, going through the ups and downs, what's something that you could probably give them to kind of give them that mindset to move forward?
I think that's a very important question that people should ask often of anyone. Mm-hmm. So thank you for asking. So it's funny how you say that you're 33 and you look back and say, man, I wish I was Chris's age. And I wish I could have done I wish my mindset was where his is at the moment, right?
Yeah. And I don't regret anything that happens in my life, but you know, sometimes you like to reflect.
You like to reflect.
That's how we are.
That's how we are, yeah. And it's funny because I always tell myself the same thing. Man, if I would have started when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
I would have been good. If I had the connections that I have now, if I would have took the leap of faith and, been self-employed, et cetera, et cetera. So I can relate to what you're saying, but for me, how it all happened for me was I had to grow up fast, man.
Mm-hmm.
I had to grow up fast. My story, like, we know what happened with my parents. I come from a dysfunctional family. So when my parents got divorced, I was 12 or 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I immediately had to grow up fast. There's no excuses. There was no ifs and buts. I had to grow up fast because my parents were going to be separated. I now had to mature faster.
Yeah.
I had to, do adult stuff,
Yeah.
right? I became a father at such an early age. So all of those things actually shaped me to become the person I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I can give advice to anyone that's coming up, I would say invest a lot in yourself. And as scary as it sounds, but just do what you've always wanted to do. If you want to be a barber, if you want to be a podcaster, if you want to be a trainer, if you want to be a nurse, do what you want to do, but go all in.
Mm-hmm.
Go all in. There's no half-assing it. Period. In my life, I half-assed a lot, and I regret those. But moving forward, I don't have room or time for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say just take advantage of the opportunity. Even though it's scary. For me, people don't know this. You know this. I am self-employed. I don't have guaranteed income. Period.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't have benefits. That's fucking scary, bro. Like, I'm going all in into my business.
Yeah.
And yes, you are going to stumble across a lot of adversity, whether it's with your spouse, whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally. You're going to go through every emotion. But I guarantee and I promise that as long as you don't give up on what you want to do when what fulfills you, I'd say that's like the best feeling ever. Knowing that you have the luxury of time.
Mm-hmm.
The luxury of making connections, the luxury of going to events, the luxury of training at your time, etc. Doing things at your own time.
Yeah.
That's the luxury part.
Yeah.
However, you do have to put in the work, bro.
Yeah.
It has to be done. No excuses.
Yeah. I feel like you missed part of the whole experience if you half-ass it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? If you go all in, then you really, really engulf the lessons, the mistakes, the wins.
Yes.
The whole full circle. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I want to share something. When we had the grand opening and you showed up to Self-Made in West Covina, I was so happy. And the reason why I was happy was not because, again, I'll go into that right now. I feel like it was a grand opening for CD Fitness.
Yeah. I would approach it the same way too.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I said, damn, my hard work paid off. And it's going to pay off. And this is only the start, right? To something new, to something that I've invested in full time, right? So, man, there's no better feeling than sitting back and reflecting and saying, damn, I've helped so many people out physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And just say, damn, what's to come? The best is yet to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's like the best reward that anyone can receive is the hard work paid off. And it feels fucking good, bro. I'm not even going to lie. It feels good, like just stepping foot in the gym and saying, hey, I'm going to train my clients today.
No, yeah. I know that for sure. It's funny because I'm going to share with everybody. When I do have the time and we do train together.
Yeah.
I always text Chris and be like, hey, man, I know you excited. I'm coming through, brother. Oh, man. That's just the great relationship that we got, bro.
I say if that's how you know who's right in your circle.
Yeah.
If people make you happy, like certain people can text me and I'll feel so like emotionally moved, like, let's go.
Yeah.
Then you have these other people that hit me up and you're like, oh, fuck. Right? But it's like, that's how you know. That's how you know that you're invested in the right people.
Yeah. Oh, no question, man. So real quick, we are gonna wrap up. Just real quick, just give everybody kind of like little teaser or glimpse of what to expect from CD Fitness.
So, okay. Remember I told you I had an announcement?
Mm-hmm.
I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
okay. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so with CD Fitness, what's yet to come for 2020? First, more clients.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a waiting list for January, so I'm super excited about that. So people that are coming in,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have that experience with Chris.
Yeah.
I've been doing new certifications with boxing, so I invested into my business. Now I'm going to be able to teach a little different, give a little bit more information, educate my clients a little more than what they were originally used to.
Yeah.
Right? That's investment. I am going to partner up with the gym in LA, a boxing gym. It hasn't been said yet.
Yeah.
But I am still going to be in a self-made training facility.
Yeah.
I think me partnering up with this gym in LA is going to bring my brand to the next level. And the reason why I say that is because it's a full-on boxing gym.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be able to learn from the best. However, we're still in negotiation, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen pretty soon. So
there you go.
But most importantly, I partnered up with a personal training brand.
Mm-hmm.
That's the exciting news. So with a personal training brand, I'm not going to put it out there because, again, I like to be sure that it's going to happen. However, it's 99% sure it's going to happen. So I partnered up with this brand.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing really good for themselves. It's one individual, right, that runs a team. And I'm going to be introduced as their boxing coach. So now, not only am I going to have the CD Fitness and have my own clientele, but I'm also going to be partnering up with another brand to showcase my skills. Not just that, but bring boxing into their regimen, into their fitness life. So I'm actually really excited about that because I am very picky on who I partner up with, and this partnership just made sense.
Yeah.
Not monetary wise, but more of the people.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's like you learn from your mistakes in the past and all that stuff.
Oh yes. So we waited like months, hella months before I said yes.
Yeah.
It had to make sense.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I'm excited for your growth. I'm excited for CD Fitness. Man, this was a lot of fun.
Thank you, bro. Man, I'll tell you this, man. If people can listen to this podcast and say, damn, I can make something out of myself, we both did our job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do your job regardless, but my impact leaving here is I just want people to know that there's still hope.
Mm-hmm.
There's faith. And if you ever need help, with building a brand or a business, I would love to be of service to you. I would love to give you free advice. I would love to partner up with you. I would love to, mentor you, etc. I would love to be of service to anyone that wants to build something new from the ground up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And where can they find you to contact you if they're interested?
So I'm always on Instagram. My Instagram is Duarte Chris 24. Pretty soon it's going to change, but for now it's Duarte Chris 24. You can send me a DM. You have my email there. You have my phone number there. So you can always feel free to DM me. I'm always responding. I am a huge believer in paying it forward to my brand. So I do have to be consistent. If someone, sends a comment or sends a message, I will do my very best to respond and, interact with you.
Mm-hmm. And if you can't find him, he'll probably be on my IG story. He'll probably be on there.
I'll be in all of your IE, LA, San Gabriel Valley stories.
There you go. So I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Guys, if you are listening to the podcast, whether it's this episode or any other episode, all that I ask if you could share with somebody. Our goal here is to be of positive influence and impact to the world. If you could do us a favor to help us out with that, is to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps with visibility. Leave us a review and a rating. In addition to that, if you do want to help the movement grow, because as and Chris knows this, I tell them all the time, this is a one-man team as of right now still, and don't make anything out of this, but I want to take it to another level. So if you guys are interested in donating, we do have a Patreon page, and you could donate to that where you get exclusive content. You can also shop some merch, which Chris always rocks, by the way, which I'm very thankful. He rocks it like religiously, which I'm very, very thankful. You could get that at shop.ejcruz.com. Otherwise, we appreciate you so much. Again, this is the last recording of 2019, and even though it's going to be published probably around February, I'm just so thankful. What a great way to close out the parables for the year.
Can I add something, EJ, before we close down?
Of course.
I just want to tell you this, and it's not because you're my friend. It's not because you're my client. It's not because, we build a partnership. But if no one has told you this in the last few days, I am so proud of you. Proud of the movement you've created. Right now, I get joy in my gym, seeing people with Parable shirts, sweaters. I'm always on the gram and, seeing who tags you. Shout out to everyone in Self-Made, from the franchise owners to the trainers. I do see a lot of trainers rocking your gear. And that speaks to itself. When I build my brand to like a bigger level, I hope it has an impact like your brand. And, I want to tell you how comfortable his clothing is. And that is not because he's my boy. But if you've never met EJ, he's one of the nicest persons ever. I would say DM him, interact with him, sign up to anything that he has. I want to
record this right now. Feel me?
Yeah, man. Sign up to anything he has. And I'm just telling you, man, it's going to be worth your time. It's so valuable. And I'm just telling you right now, 2020, I am so scared on how big you're going to blow up, bro. I have this faith that 2020 is going to be your fucking year. And I told you that last year. I'm going to tell you that today, and I'm going to tell you that next year. So, congratulations, brother. Love you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Parables Podcast with Chris Duarte. We're out of here. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.